Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Doctor McFarland, and I am in all Superman garb tonight. I got the shirt, I got the pajama pants, I even have the underwear. So my wife is like, don't tell him that. I was like, hey, I got it all, man. I got the whole Superman shebang. So what we're going to be looking at tonight on the Headrush MX5 is Peavey rigs, both clean and full on metal and everything in between. So that's why the title is called Peavey 5150 Extreme, because we're going to the extremities, folks. So come on in, grab your Headrush pedal board, your gig board, or your MX5, and let's build some rigs. So I have been hard at work here in the studio, tweaking little things here, hanging sheetrock in the stairwell, about to do some painting in the stairwell. I had a full-blown 4-day session at the end of April, and I'm in the process of editing and mixing those songs for that client, and it's going really, really well. And just between work and the studio and a new baby and just everything, I've just been super busy. So I didn't want this month to get away from me before I did a live stream for the Headrush. And I really, really hope, and I'm trying to find some time over the weekend, I can sit down, do some more Headrush tone sculpting videos for that course, so I can continue to be up to date as Headrush comes out with more and more stuff. I'm going to be reviewing and guiding you on how to get the best tones from those amps, effects, whatever they are, in that course. So if you're interested in learning more about the Headrush and just more about gear in general, let me turn my volume down. The Headrush tone sculpting course is for you. Now, if you have a Helix or a Quad Cortex or a Kemper or anything else, the information will apply the same because it's all the same context about dealing with amps and effects and signal flow and this in the order of which you put those effects in. So even though the buttons might look different, the way you get to everything is different. If you have a different device, it's all the same stuff. So I probably will come out with Helix courses in the future. I've had a lot of questions about the HX effects on my channel lately, and there's just a lot of things that you can do with the HX Stomp, the HX effects, and also the Helix native plugin, which is a great plugin you can use in your DAW to take your DI guitar or bass signal and then apply some effects and amp models and different stuff to your recording. So just a plethora of options we have today. But tonight, like I said, we're going to be looking at the Headrush line of products and the MX5 in particular. And we're going to build some Peavey rigs. So let me give you a quick story here. We got 5 viewers. So, hey, 5 viewers, let me know what you... let me know your name and where you're from in the chat. And let me know if you can hear everything okay. I'm using a Rode shotgun mic right over my face here. And I just got the guitar going direct into a Focusrite 18i8. So that is the signal chain tonight for this live stream. I am going through Streamlabs OBS and using, what is this, Laudiocast to pipe the loopback from the Focusrite into the Streamlabs software. So that's my setup. That's what's going on. But a quick story. I've owned probably 34, 35 amps over the years. And one of those was the Peavey 5150 block letter edition. And the thing was really a beast. So just a really funny story about that amp was I had the wild idea. I wanted to put KT 66 power tubes in the amplifier. And when I received those, the little metal things that kind of help hold the tubes in place, they were just way, the actual tube itself was way too big, and it wouldn't fit down in the slot all the way. So I had to actually cut those off, which was very dangerous and made the, that part of the tube socket very sharp. But when I called the tube supplier, which is eurotubes.com, they're still around. They still sell tubes, and they sell mainly JJ tubes. Not mainly, but they do just only sell JJ tubes, which I think is a great brand of tube. I don't really hear a huge difference between one tube and the next, but those are good quality and, can get you pretty far. So I was talking on the phone with this guy, and I said, I want my amp to be the beast that can't be tamed. He goes, oh, well, you definitely need some KT66 power tubes then. So I gave him my credit card or debit card at the time. And thankfully, they usually come in the mail pretty fast within 2 or 3 days, because they're over in Washington, I think, or maybe Oregon, somewhere over there on the West Coast. And got the tubes, stuck them in, and the Peavey 5150 block letter edition is a beast that cannot be tamed, that's for sure. And so let's go full bore, and let's dial in a great hard rock, just good crunchy tone, and we'll go from there. I do not have any IRs on this MX5 right here, so we're just going to be going with stock cabs, which is perfectly fine. We'll go to amps, and the Peavey stuff is at the bottom here, just past the Bogner. So I'm going to go to the lead, and we do have a clean, we have a crunch, and we have a lead option for this Peavey amp. And there is a lot of parameters on here that I don't really hear tons of difference when I engage them or turn them on and off. I think it's mainly on the crunch channel. There's some stuff there, but we'll look at it all. This cab is the 65 watt with the MD421, and the microphone is off axis. So I'm going to turn my headphones up a little bit so I can hear the clarity of my voice, and turn my guitar back up, and here we go. Okay, I did tune before the video, but if I need to tune again, just let me know. And 2 viewers, let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm just going to keep talking and keep doing my thing, and chime in, ask me any kind of questions that you want about the head rush. Let's go to a different microphone. I'm not necessarily going for a certain sound, but I want to make sure the beefiness is there. So all right, just for example, let's go to a Classic 30 cabinet. All right, that's really the sound I was going for. That's the sound I heard in my head anyway. It's just a good... It's not a lot of high end, not too much lows. It's just a good overall sound. We can adjust the preamp gain if we want. We can also adjust the post gain. Now, the thing you need to keep in mind with modelers is we don't have the actual amp in the room, and we don't get the feel of the amp in the room. This is definitely a direct sound like you would hear to a PA or that you would hear back from a recording session. So that's why I have good headphones on. These are the Rode, I can't remember the model number right now, but these are the brand new Rode microphones. It's the first ones they've ever put in production. So I got really good monitoring. I got some RCF speakers here in the studio. I also monitor through a lot of times. And also have the Headrush 108 speaker. So between these three reference monitors, I'm able to get a pretty good idea of how things would sound in a recording, in a live situation, stuff like that. So just know that it's not meant to sound like the amp in the room and give you that exciting feeling of the air moving in your pant leg, swishing everywhere. It's just a good direct recorded sound. So, but with that said, if I decided to crank the post parameter here, that's just like turning up the power amp section of the amp. So you're cooking the power tubes before you really start cooking the preamp tube. So this is what that sounds like. Okay, it might be a little over the top. Let's just dial it back a bit. Okay, I actually like that sound. It just really depends on how aggressive you want things to be. I'm going to move this down to the screen so I can kind of see some comments here if I need to. Is it really like that? Okay, I don't know. I moved it to a different screen and the screen went green for some reason. So I don't know. 7 viewers. Let me know who you are, your name, where you're from, and have you ever owned an actual Peavey amplifier or just a 5150 in general? Let me know. I feel like the lows, mids, and highs sound pretty good. We can obviously cut some mids, or we can boost some mids. Now I heard, I read in a book by Mixer Man called Zen and the Art of Mixing. And one of the chapters talks about just getting basic balances and actually mixing different instruments. And he talked about the acoustic guitar, and it can still apply to the electric as well. But most of the time, an acoustic guitar in a very dense mix can tend to overpower the drums and a lot of stuff. So you really have to carve out a lot of low end, a lot of low mids. And if you soloed that acoustic guitar, it would actually probably not sound all that great in isolation, but in the mix itself, it just sits where it should because it's not, it's just sitting in that frequency range where you want it to. And the same thing can apply to electric guitar. It's very, very easy as a home hobbyist bedroom guitar player to make everything want to sound really big and fat and beefy. But then when you actually do go to play, maybe maybe jam with your friends at a jam night, or maybe you actually are in a band, a lot of times if you scoop out your mids too much, you're not going to be heard. So you definitely want to make sure at least keep the mid range at 50%, if not a little bit more. That will help you cut through the mix. Otherwise, in a way that you wouldn't be otherwise. You can also adjust the low end. Make sure you can bring that down so you're not being too woofy sounding. And really depending on the pickups, if you have dark pickups, you can tend to raise up the high end of the amp. Or if you have really bright pickups, you might want to keep it a little bit darker sounding. Maybe bring it down to 40% or so. And Francis is in the house. So what's up, Francis? So I hope that makes sense and just gives you some basic guidelines as far as the preamp gain versus post or power amp gain, and the just the basic EQ stuff there. I'm going to turn the mids back down to around 50 or so, bring the lows back up. And the resonance knob, this is a very cool knob on the 5150, or there's a lot of other amps that have this knob as well. It's really a way to add in low end without actually adding low end. It's more something that you feel versus something that you actually hear. I'm going to turn this all the way down and just play a little bit. It's a very, very small change, but I can definitely hear with the resonance cranked all the way up that there is just a little bit more beefiness going on, especially when you do some palm muting. And then let's do the same thing with the presence. This is pretty much the same as raising or lowering the treble knob on your amp, but it's doing it at a different frequency than what the actual treble knob is. So presence is more like the 4K to like 6K range, and it's really meant to give you like a little hump in that frequency range there. So this is with it all the way down. And this is all the way up. I kind of like the presence knob up. It gives it some excitement. But that's pretty much good for the amp and the cab. I do like vintage 30 cabs a lot. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of delay here. And we can mess with like stereo doubler and stuff like that. But we're going to do a dyne delay. Dynamic delay. And let's just do a... I'm not running stereo tonight, so it's not going to make a big deal if I put it in stereo. But... okay, that setting always starts off a little high with the mix, so I'm going to bring that down to about 20%. I'm a little loud tuned, so let's go ahead and tune back up. I do have a guitar that I borrowed from work that needs some work, and I'm gonna use the MX5 here to see if I can check the intonation, or actually adjust intonation with the MX5 tuner. I should be able to get pretty close anyway. I definitely need to change the strings on this guitar. I hadn't done it in a while, probably since I've moved, which was last September. But I have a few packages of Stringjoy strings that are based here in Nashville that I can change them out with. So. All right, so that satisfies the wetness that I want. Most of the time I don't want to hear things totally dry in my ear. I just want like a little bit of wetness. But obviously if you're doing like some fast, chunky stuff, you don't necessarily want a delay on at that point. So what we can do right now, let's go ahead and save this. Save new rig. PVLD HTS. So that lets me know this is part of the Headrush Tone Sculpting Rigs series. And I can go ahead and let's do add some reverb here. 11 verb. And just because Francis is in the house, we're going to do a medium plate. Because apparently that's his favorite. And I'm okay with that. So let's bring the tone down though. Bring the mix down pretty low. Now, reverb, especially in a recording studio, you don't always have to add reverb as you're recording. You can always add that in post. But if you're playing live and you just want a little bit of room, ambience to kind of give the sound a bigger sound, maybe a little bit wider, adding just a touch of reverb is not a bad thing. I definitely want it. Don't take it above, 20-30%, because anything more than that, come on now, anything more than that is just way too wet. So for example, it's just way too swimmy. But with the mix down, we can also change the decay. Make it nice and short. Let's make sure the tails are on. It's kind of like this, adjusting reverb for snare drums. You don't want the decay to be so long that it flows into the next snare hit. So you can kind of think of the same thing here with guitar. If you're doing like a palm muty thing, volume back up. So it kind of decays before my next hit, depending on the tempo of the song. So you might just want to experiment with the decay time. If you're like an 80s band, 80s had tons of reverb and stuff anyway. So it just really depends on the genre. But if you're, country, modern rock, you may not want a really long reverb time. So let's take a break and check the comments here. Francis said the studio's looking good. It is getting there. It is getting there. I got my my Roland drum kit right here. I got a little piano station back there. You can see, if I can reach, you can see I got the, this right here. I have a bookshelf that houses the record player and all my records and just, books and guitar magazine stuff. I got all that going there. I got the vocal booth behind me. I got a black couch over here. And like I said, I got the stairwell being worked on, and then the bathroom down in the garage is going to be the last phase, which we're going to have to dig through the cement and the ground to get to the septic tank and all that fun stuff. So it is definitely coming along. Brandon Evans, a guy from Trenton, Georgia. A Fender Strat, lower the high or turn down the tone. Lower the highs. Yeah, I mean, tone knobs can be, they're not all made equal. So, for instance, on all Reverend guitars, we have a bass contour knob, which is technically a high pass filter, which just rolls off the low end. And then this knob is technically like a low pass filter, which rolls off the high end. So you kind of just have to use your ears. And if it's something that you feel like you want to adjust from the guitar, you can. But I would definitely try to find your tone that you like your bass tone, your foundational tone. You know, dial it in from the amp, and then you can always tweak it from the guitar later if you feel like you want to do something like that. Raptor Man says, hello. Enjoy any sleep? Barely. I was up really super late last night working on songs here in the studio for my client. And yeah, not sleeping a whole lot. So yes, Francis says the medium plate reverb is his favorite. All right, so that's our lead sound. We can go to hardware sign and make sure our delay is on a foot switch that we want. I don't necessarily want the amp and cab on a switch. And we can hold down switch 1 here. Or can I? Hold on. Save. There we go. I want to be in stomp view so I can actually see the effects assigned to the switch. So I can do that. And I'm going to go, since this is a lead sound, I'm going to add in the green JRC, which is never green by default for some reason. But I'm going to change that right now. I'm going to say save the default. And hopefully it'll be saved next time. So here's with the Tube Screamer. And that's assigned to switch 1. So here's the sound before the Tube Screamer. I'm going to turn off the delay. And then Tube Screamer. And the Tube Screamer is great because you can actually keep the preamp gain a little bit lower on the amp. And then when you want more juice, just kick in the Tube Screamer or any kind of other mid-range humped style pedal. And that just helps to push more volume into the front of the amp. And you can see that I have the level all the way up. So I'm really pushing a lot of volume into the front end of the amp, which is cooking the preamp tubes a little bit more. And the tone is just at 50%. And the drive is actually all the way down. So this is a pretty classic setting for any kind of mid-range humped style pedal. Because we're just really worried about imparting a little bit of the tone, that mid-range tone of the pedal into the front end of the amp and just driving it harder with more volume. So and that is our lead sound. So we're going to save that, and then we're going to hit save again, save new rig, Peavey CR HTS. I'm getting a little bit better at typing on this small screen. Just takes a little bit of practice. We're going to keep everything the same. Maybe turn the delay off for now. And on this head, we're going to go and choose the crunch amplifier, which is really, it's 1 amp, but it has 3 different channels, if you will. So okay, that's definitely a different sound. Let's make sure the amp didn't change. The amp is still the same. So interesting. I may do some recording a little bit later, so you can hear how these tones stack together. So for example, if you are the rhythm player in the band, maybe you're on the right side of the stage, and your lead guitar player is on the left, where you might want to have different tones that complement each other, so that way you're not sounding exactly the same, whether it's on a recording or in a live gig or something. And then Tube Screamer. Yeah, I just love that Tube Screamer in there. It sounds really good. I will turn the preamp gain down a bit. Turn up, not the highs. Bring up the lows. There is a bright switch on here. I'm not sure if you have to have it in a special setting or something, but I don't ever really hear the difference when I switch that. So it is what it is. I'm going to turn the presence down on this a little bit, and there is the post, which you can bring up to cook the tubes. Shred Till Dawn was cracking, Doc. I'm not sure what's cracking. My back was cracking earlier after I worked out. That's what I did start this week walking on the treadmill. When I first get up in the morning, I walk about 30 minutes. And that first day, whew, man, my lower half of my body was just screaming. So trying to get in shape. It's long overdue. I got about 20-30 pounds I want to lose. It's probably going to take me about 6 to 9 months. So let's hope I can be consistent with my walking and my working out and weightlifting, and also just eating a lot better, drinking a lot more water. So if you got any tips, let me know your name, where you're from, and some weight loss tips in the comments there. All right, that sounds pretty good. Let's turn off the Tube Screamer for a second. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I am going to change the reverb, just why not? I do like the garage sound, but with the mix down pretty low. I'm checking the phone here. It might be a little bright on the screen, but maybe that's just more reason to go download the rigs. So I am doing all this for the HTS rigs course. It's not really a course, but it's just a way to access the headrush rigs that I build during these live streams. So think of it like a one-time donation to the channel. is $20 on the website. And when you buy that course, you go to help support me and feed my kids. So there you go. Lots of great stuff coming down the pike for Head Rush. So if you're not a part of the forum, go sign up for the forum and see what all the chatter is over there. Lots of good stuff. There has been a beta version in the testing process. So hopefully that will be released fairly soon. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff going on. I'm going to delete that model, the delay, and I'm actually going to put in a phaser, because I like the phaser. And so I really like that sound. I also like it with a rate as slow as you can get it. So I think it just sounds cool when you're like chunking along and you're going. Maybe you're in the not verse, but like, well, it could be a verse. Verse or maybe the bridge section of a song where you're kind of dying down a little bit, bring the dynamics down. And you got the drums going, you got the bass playing along, and then your rhythm guitar is like. I just think it's a cool sound. So that is on switch number 2, which is fine. And switch number 1 is still the JRC. Now, I do prefer my phase and my flange before any kind of dirt. Because afterwards, the dirt is actually pushing more volume into that modulation effect. And it's just... it makes it sound too in your face. I like my phase, my flange to be more subdued in the mix. So for example, this is what it sounds like after the amp. I'm going to put it in the effects loop of the amp. And maybe that's what you want, but I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm going to put it back before the Tube Screamer. Psychological says, "What's up, Doc? Thanks for your Head Rush videos. Thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate that. That was very generous. And let me know if you got any questions I can help answer, okay?" Okay, I do like the phaser. Let's do one more. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? So many options. I do like the air filter. And there should be... I don't have it on here. I need to put it on here, but there is a, let's try the radio. Let's put it before the amp. Alright, we're going to have to adjust some things here. Let's bring the mix down, resonance down, frequency, BP mode is probably something. I just kind of messing around. I can't remember my exact preset. Maybe change the LFO rate a little bit. So I like the what the air filter can do is kind of give you the sweepiness of your foot without actually having to use your foot to sweep the wall back and forth. Might have to just adjust the LFO rate. That actually, sorry, I knocked the camera here. Hello, what's going on? Move this around. There we go. All right, I like that preset, so I'm going to save it. So you have to be on this screen right here to actually save presets, and you can save a preset of pretty much anything: an amp model, a reverb, parameter setting, whatever you want. So I'm going to save and then save new preset, and I have this called up on my other one, but I'm going to call it Doc Cock, because it's like the half-cocked wall, moving wall pedal kind of thing. And you know, like for instance, the gig board doesn't even have a wall pedal built in. You have to buy one separately, or an expression pedal or something. So this kind of gives you a good faux wall pedal sound without actually having to use your foot to sweep back and forth. And if you were to kick it in for like solos or all kinds of stuff, it's just a good thing to have. I will put a little bit of delay in here, possibly. Yeah, let's go ahead and do some delay. Let's do tape echo, analog long. And what I'm going to do, since I do have an expression pedal built in to the MX5, I'm going to assign the tape echo mix. Okay. So what this means is, and then I'm going to click on range, and we're going to have the heel be 100%, and the toe is only going to be, let's see here, the toe is going to be about, let's make it 30% for now. Okay. So with the heel down, this is what it sounds like. Okay, and you heard there's a delay. Let's adjust that. Delay time is 24 milliseconds. A little long. It's a little long there. We can choose to have milliseconds time, or we can have subdivisions, which would be like quarter notes, eighth notes, dotted eighths, stuff like that. So to engage that, you want to turn on, first of all, always turn on tails. And you want to turn on the sync option right here. So when you do that, you can see the delay changes to a subdivision instead of milliseconds. And so just whichever way you like to work. If you want a tap tempo, if you like playing songs that have a certain tempo, you can just set it to sync and then tap, 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 and there you go. Or you can have the sync off and just have milliseconds dialed up. Okay, pretty good. I'm going to raise the feedback, but turn down the... Oh, the mix is already preset. I forgot. So I have to change the mix with my foot, or with my my expression pedal here. Cool. All right, cool. I like that. Let's go on. Let's save. Save as a new rig. PVCL for clean. HTS. And now, we're actually just going to delete some of this stuff because I don't want it in there. We will add in a chorus after the amplifier. So most of the time, let's do a mono rich. But we're going to turn down the mix. And we can also turn down the rate. So it doesn't have to be in there, but it's just something to help the movement of the clean sound if you want it to be there. So for the amp, we're going to choose the PV2 clean. And this gives us a pre-gain, low, high, mid, bright switch on and off. Maybe the bright switch only works for the clean channel. I'm not sure. It's very possible the bright switch only works on the clean channel. So, checking out. Deadite Dan has not downloaded the update for 2.4. Come on, man. What are you doing? Just go do it. A lot of good stuff in there. Alright, so we're going to go back here. We're going to make sure our pre-gain is down. Also, we want to make sure our post parameter is down a little bit. Because, like I said before, the higher that is, the dirtier the power section is going to be. So I'm also going to put the middle switch, middle position on my guitar, because most bridge pickups tend to be on the hotter spectrum of the resistance. Is it resistance? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it is resistance. I have a Jeff Beck humbucker that's like 14K resistance. It's just super mid-rangey and hot. But that's just the nature of most bridge pickups. So if you have a really hot bridge pickup, you probably don't want to use that for a clean sound. You'd probably be better off using the middle position or even the neck. So, so with that said, let's go ahead and bring it over to the neck pickup on this Sensei from Reverend Guitars. Yep, Yes, I play all Reverend guitars pretty much. I do have an Eastman guitar, but all my electrics are Reverend, and I love Reverend stuff, so it's great. Can you build a tremolo with drop pitch on the pedal? The two together sound amazing. Thomas McFarland uses his quad cortex along with the DAW to do a drop pitch tremolo at the end of a lick like Dive. Tremolo with drop pitch on the pedal. It's like on the expression pedal, possibly. Yeah, I'll attempt to do something like that. With this one, we can stand to go a little wetter. We'll do like a rich hall. Still bring the tone down, but maybe bring the mix up a little bit. Pretty cool. Turn on that chorus. Turn back up the width in the mix. Okay. That's about as clean as you're going to get from a Peavey 5150 amplifier. They're just not known for super clean, like Fender-y kind of stuff. Now, the later editions, like the 5150 3 amp, it's actually white. It has 3 channels. That definitely has more extremities. Really, really clean cleans, but also like really heavy, crunch and lead channels. But this original 5150, especially the block letter or any in that series, 6505, and also the 6505 Plus. It's just really meant for crunch and lead tones. Most of the time, if you're in a band that has those kind of amps, you're probably going to have another amp on stage or maybe in your rack that you can switch over to use for your clean tone, and then switch back to the 5150 for your crunch and lead stuff. So, not to say you can't get clean out of these amps, but since we did bring down the power amp or the post parameter on the amp, I am going to bring up the rig volume a little bit because I want to make sure my green bars are hitting just below 0, if not about 3 bars below 0. Then make sure my volume is loud enough, and so I'm sending a consistent signal from rig to rig. And we can also add in, let's do a dyne comp. And I really like the threshold all the way down, the attack about, 10 or so. The gain can be up a little bit. The ratio needs to be down. Maybe like 1.4, 1.3, somewhere in there. That actually helps to compress the signal before it hits the amp. And it also helps to smooth out a lot of stuff. You can put a compressor after your amplifier. Kind of depends on the overall sound you're going for. Let's turn up the ratio on this. Notice how the volume dropped a little bit because I was compressing it pretty good there. Okay, also the release time. Kind of think of it like a LA2A style compressor, like a rack compressor. most of the time the attack was slow, but the release was very fast. Or maybe it's the reverse. I can't remember. Whatever, you know. But you want to treat, especially since this Dyne 3 compressor is more like a rack studio compressor. You want to kind of treat it like that. So. And for this sound, I'm going to take out the tape delay. And we're going to add in some pitch. I like the pitch delay. But I just like I like it being at 0, but detuning it down a little bit. Just a little bit. Bring the feedback of that down. All right, not too bad. You can hear the detune as it decays or as it feeds back. The detune makes the pitch drop a little bit. You can also make it go up if we bring it up in the positive here. So it just kind of rises ever so much. All right, let's read some comments. Try to send you a link to the video where he shows it. I'm trying to recreate on the headrush. Do you find the volume knob on the headrush adds more saturation? No, it doesn't. If so, do you leave it set and just volume elsewhere then? Yeah, so the master or the main volume knob on your headrush is nothing more than just a linear, clean, doesn't affect the saturation at all type knob. Okay? If you had it at 1, it'd be the same tone as if you had it at 10. I try personally with the output section to have my green bars be at a certain level. And then I set my main or my master knob to around 7 or 8, in that range. So that way, if I'm playing at church or playing just any gig, I know I'm sending the same amount of volume to the front of house guy, so he can adjust his preamp on the channel strip as he needs to, and I'm not just sending him just crazy amounts of signal, or I'm not sending him too less of a signal. It's just you got to find that balance of where you just want to be consistent, kind of put the flag in the ground and be like, this is my volume no matter what. You just want to make all your rigs be consistent with the output volume, and then just set your main. I'm going to move this over so you can see it. So there's my knob there. That's about like 6 or 7, somewhere in there right now. Another cool thing you can experiment with is putting in some, where am I at? Stereo doubler is very cool. We can make it sound very wide. Put the compression back before everything. You can change the separation, the intensity, which is really just the depth knob. And it's just an instant, really wide kind of sound. All right. Let's save. New rig. PVTR. DR for drop. HTS. I have no idea what this is supposed to sound like. But let's just have fun. So we're going to take this out. We're going to take out the chorus. Add in a tremolo. So modulation. I would like to see some other tremolos available. Because there's bias trim, there's opto tremolos, all kinds of different styles. I really like the tremolo on the Strymon Flint pedal. That thing sounds great. I don't currently own a Strymon Flint, but I did at one time. And hello. Let me move this microphone out of the way. Get back in focus here. Get back in focus. Yeah, that Strymon Flint pedal is just magical. Soft half. I can always go in and change. Turn the sync off. I usually like the rate pretty fast. But it just depends. Alright, any kind of drop pedal is going to be with a whammy. Let me change the color of this tremolo here. I don't like purple. Let's make it blue. Make it blue. Alright, so whammy is going to expression. And then we have all this different stuff here. We've got volume, shined wall, black wall, Moore wall, which is like a Morley wall. We have the wham, the harmony, the panner, the chord wham, the time warp, the feedback, all kinds of stuff. So chord wham is more like the Pog 2 pedal. It is a polyphonic whammy type effect. The actual wham is more of like a monophonic. You really just want to play single notes with that. For example, we're going down with pitch drop on the pedal. Pitch drop. So I guess we're going to go down at least 1 octave. So we'll do that. So. So there's the polyphonic stuff. It's way better with the chord wham. I do like an octave up. So we got chord wham on pedal B and the other wham on pedal A. If I try to... I can't do it with my hand. I have to do it with my foot to switch it back and forth, but... pitch expression pedal should be working. Maybe it's still on A. Yeah, currently it's set to A, so we're going to have to go into hardware assign and see it's currently set to pitch, so we're going to have to go to B. And go to chord wham, and we'll change the pitch, I guess. Okay, so that works for that. And I do like the mix being a little bit low, just so the pitch just blends into the sound a little bit. I really have no idea what the sound is supposed to be like, so I'm reading the comments here. Definitely try to send me a link to that video. There's a chat feature on my website, so just go and click on the little chat icon. You can send me a direct message, and then I can respond when I get a chance. I've been going for about an hour now, so that's pretty good. Are we live now? Yes, we are. We are totally live. Yes. Yeah, I don't know what to go for, and I can't really play it here on a live stream because then I'll get a copyright strike and all that fun monetization stuff. So, but just for fun, I mean, I do like, we can turn this into a really washed out ambient sound by turning up the mix. Kind of neat. Kind of neat. Yeah, I'm not switching that correctly, so. All right, to finish this stream here, I think that's pretty good. 3 or 4 rigs. Let's go ahead and save it. You can actually pull down with your finger. You can see we got 4 rigs right there. I'm gonna bring up. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? I'm gonna bring up a session here. And this is Mixbus 32C version 8. I do work for Harrison Consoles, and I'm the product specialist for Mixbus software. So I kind of know it pretty good. I know it okay. We're going to call this HTS song. And I'm going to use a... I'm going to use the Q, the Q option here, which you're not really going to be able to see. But I'm going to bring in a MIDI track, and I'm going to bring in Easy Drummer 3, which is brand spanking new as well. Make sure that shows up on the Q page. And I'm going to bring this down here so I can kind of see myself and the DAW. No, I don't want to bring it up on that page. Let's go to the Q page, and we're going to add in Easy Drummer and find a cool groove here. Standard. Okay, a little fast. Let's go change our tempo. See what 110 sounds like. All right, cool. So now we can actually drag that into a Q slot. And I'm not quite sure if I can... Let me change my window. Can I change my window? Window. Windows Spotlight, Firefox. Do I have Mixbus in here? No. Okay, you're just not going to see it on the screen for now. Which is fine. Okay. Yeah, Easy Drummer 3, it's not like it's mind-blowingly different than Easy Drummer 2, but the GUI looks really nice, so I do like that aspect of it. Here's some drums, and I'm actually going to go to my edit window. And add a cue on this bar. So that's going to start my drums whenever I hit play. And I can actually go to the mix and make sure it's not too loud. Turn that down just a bit. Alright. I like this current sound that we have. So let's make a track. I'm actually going to go to the record page. And I'm coming in on input 2. So I'm going to hit the plus symbol and say this is going to be TRDR track. And we'll make a few more here. So we're going to have PVCL. And we'll have a PVCR. And we'll have a PVLD for lead. So I got a few different tracks here. I'm just going to go and arm the track. Not quite sure what I'm gonna play, but we'll figure something out. Let's put on my metronome. That's actually tune. Let's tune it again, folks. I do need to change these strings. I'm also going to have a workbench downstairs in the garage so I can work on guitars and do some soldering of pedal boards and different stuff. So that'd be nice. So, okay, I'm going to go with that kind of progression. So, sorry, I can't see where I was. Starting on bar 6. Okay. So I'm basically creating music right now with the rigs that we just made. So, yeah, I did see that. The Easy Drummer had an upgrade, which is great. Here we go. 3, 4. There's that. And I'm actually going to trim this a little bit. And then we're going to duplicate it. Duplicate it out just a few times. Alright, so now I need the clean sound here. You can pull that down and hit clean. Let's see what happens there. See what happens. 2, 3, 4. Okay, not too bad. I feel like this was a little low in the mix. Let's bring that up. And here we go. Alright, I could do that a little bit better. Maybe simplify it a little bit. So let's try it again. Okay, that works for that. And now I'm going to trim this on the bar and duplicate that out. So now let's go to the crunch sound here, okay? We're actually going to use this rig twice. One without the tube screamer and the air filter and the tape echo. Let's tune one more time. I definitely need to change strings here. Let's tug on this G string a little bit. You heard me. You heard me. Old strings. Need to change them. But when you're recording, you really need to pay attention to your tuning, because you could not be paying attention to that and record all these tracks and then listen back and realize, hey, that's kind of not sounding all that great. So for this, I'm going to bring down the gain even more. Maybe bring down the post. Okay. Here's this track. Too fast. Too fast. Turn on auto return here so I know what I'm doing. If you find this interesting, let me know. If you have a studio setup at all, even if it's just a laptop or a desktop computer with an interface and a microphone, and you're interested in learning about how to record yourself, I do have a course on my website called I don't remember. Something about music production. It's something about music production. Go check that out. Because really, when I'm dialing in these headrush sounds, I'm thinking like a producer, and I want to create something that I can use in an actual song that would blend well with other parts in a mix. So it's kind of what I'm going for here. Here we go. 3, 4. Now the next track, we can actually turn on our phaser. And I'm going to pan this to the left. If my mouse will cooperate with me. Come on, mouse. I feel like I had issues with this before. I can't remember what resolved it. It's not panning it hard left, but let's just make it a good 50% over to the left. New playlist. I'm duplicating this track so I don't have to redo a bunch of stuff as far as like inputs and all that. Okay, that's working. Now I'm going to turn on the phaser for this, and also maybe the tape echo. Not the tape echo. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate this other track here that I made. And we're going to set our playhead at 5 and press record. Good for that. Trim it up. Trim it up. And duplicate it out. Alright, so that's going to just be going for a little bit. And then I'm going to put a little lead line on here. A little lead line. Maybe I can come up with some cool stuff. Who knows? Ooh, that's massive. Francis is liking the fire or something. Thank you, Francis, for your words of encouragement. I'm going to start it back here. Alright, and I ran out of juice there. Let's put in a bass line. I'm just going to go to my all rigs and then bass tones and then just turn off some stuff. And that's going to be my core bass tone. Ooh! My bass guitar is at work. Well, shoot. Okay. What I'm going to attempt to do is I'm actually going to put in modulation. I'm going to put in some octaves. See what happens. Let's put this before everything. Turn the mix Alright, so we're kind of doing like a faux bass kind of thing. I'm gonna put on the neck pickup. It's a little hot. Little hot. Yeah, it's a little hot. So let's turn down the rig. So this is what I was saying. You want to make sure you have good, consistent volume. Because otherwise. Alright, so I got a bass. Alright. Let's add. Let's go to my record page. Let's add a track based on this input. We're going to call it bass. Go back to my edit window and arm the track. Now let's press record. So do I want to play with my thumb? Let's just try it out. Ho, ho, ho! Yes, it sounds just like a bass in the mix, and it's great. It is so great. Let's trim that up. And we're going to duplicate it out. Alright, so we got 5 progressions here. So here's the mix. Sure, I'm not rolling over my headphone cable here. Check this out. Listen to it. Turn up the bass guitar. Yeah, we're making it happen now, folks. Raise that roof. Alright, let's go back and actually pan. Well, I've already panned them. I'm going to solo up these tracks. So you can hear the crunch channel, hard left with no effect, then hard right with a little bit of phase on there. So check this out. A bit of phase going on. Yeah, there you go, folks. An hour and a half strong. We did it. We got a lot of good content. Even though it's technically only 4 rigs. I'll include this bass. Let me go ahead and save this. Save new rig. I'm gonna call this Peavey. Wow. Can't type that. Peavey bass HTS. And then I'm going to go to my actual Peavey rigs. No, sorry. I'm going to go to pencil, hit the magnifying glass, type in Peavey, and now I'm going to hit the bass rigs. Now it's going to be added on the bottom of the set list. I'm going to hit save. Now we have 5 rigs in that list. So I can actually go to the rig view, and we can use the switches here to change banks. So you got the bass rig there at the end. With that octaves and a little bit of compression after the amp, we have our TRDR sound. And then we got our clean, we got our crunch, and we have our lead. So feel free to take these rigs if you've signed up for the HTS rigs course. Once again, it's only $20. And that is a lifetime, one-time fee for life. It's just, think of it like an added donation to the channel, really. And take any settings that you like and that you see in these rigs and save those as presets. So as you're building your own rigs, you can get to those kind of sounds a lot faster because you already have them stored and all that stuff. You can back them up to your computer as well when you sync up your headrush to your PC or your Mac. So having a backup of all that is really good. I need a blues rock rig. Blues rock. I think the crunch sound on this, maybe a little bit lower gain, would actually work pretty good for blues rock. I think so. But like I said, I was up pretty late last night. And I can feel myself like slowly just draining down. So there we go. I just yawned, so that lets me know that I need to quit. But thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Psychological, for the super chat. In the last month or two, I have now added merch to the bottom of all my videos. So that is through Spring Creator, which is formerly known as Teespring. But I have a basic Doctor McFarland t-shirt, and I also have a t-shirt that says Predestined to Rock. Then on the back it says Before the World Began. So if you just know you were born to rock, then that's the shirt for you. And then there's another one I don't remember. But if you want to help support the channel even more, you can buy a t-shirt. That would be great. You can wear it around town and be like, hey, I like your shirt. Yeah, go check out Dr. McFarland Studios on YouTube and give them a like, subscribe, and a click of the bell. And if you want any headrush gear at all and you like shopping at Sweetwater, then I do have Sweetwater affiliates down in the description. And when you click through that link first before you purchase anything, I do get a little bit of a kickback from that. Some commission off of that. It's very, very small, but every little bit helps to go support the channel. So if you're going to buy something anyways, and you want to support your local YouTuber, i.e. me, then just click through that link, go make your purchase, and you'll be giving me a little bit of commission from that. And also, if you order from anything from Amazon, I also have Amazon affiliate links down below as well. So if you're going to go order your toilet paper and your and whatever you buy from Amazon these days, just click through my link, and my family will definitely appreciate that. So I'm very, very open. I'm an open book guy. So if you want to message me on Facebook, on Instagram, or also through my chat feature on my website, I'm always available to answer any questions that you have. So feel free to come on in. Don't be shy and send me your questions, and I will love to help you out and just make sure you're getting the best out of your gear and all that stuff. So I'm going to be backing up these rigs probably tomorrow morning and then putting them on the website so they'll be available for download. And if you want to go ahead right now and go sign up for the HTS rigs course, so that way when I wake up, I get a few emails saying, hey, this person or these people purchased your rigs. That would make my morning, and you would have some awesome rigs in your hands at that point. So I'm going to say goodnight to everyone. Deadite Dan, thanks for chiming in. Thanks for coming in, Francis, and saying hi and making these live streams enjoyable. And we will catch you in the next video. Keep rocking, guys. Where's my mouse? Here we are. Here we are. Bam.